Devoshri Banerjee, Department of Education, University of Calcutta, West Bengal, India. Professor Banerjee, her specialization in educational psychology, special education, teacher education. She is gold medalist for first class first in MA in education from University of Calcutta and completed her PhD degree from the same university. Besides this, she also completed her EDY certificate course from University of Manchester. More than 20 students have been awarded MPhil degree under her guidance, and more than 10 students have been awarded PhD degree under her guidance. Already she has completed so many government projects. She has more than 50 publications in national and international reputed journals, editing books, and regularly attends the many national and international seminars and conferences to present his ideas and works. She is ardently fascinated in various fields of educational science, research, and exchange of ideas. She has published national and international so many references books as well as edited books. She had been also appointed as course coordinator for the 12th refresher course held in November 2006 and 15th refresher course held in November 2010 and interdisciplinary refresher course on teacher education 2019 at the Department of Education, University of Calcutta. She is also members in editorial board of various journals and also lifetime members of various academic organizations. Now, Madam, kindly shares your screens.
Good afternoon, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 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 A very good afternoon to everybody. And a special thanks to the college for organizing a webinar on this issue. Though I'm not a specialist in this issue and I have not done any project on this issue, but I believe this is a very challenging issue because right now, elementary education is going to go through a great change in our new education policy. And we just hope that the problems that are being faced, especially in the border areas, will to some extent reduce with the new education policy. But at present, as my previous speakers did tell, that the common border between India and Bangladesh is 4096 kilometers, 4096 kilometers. And it runs through the 5 states of West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. Now, I would like to specifically speak about the border between West Bengal and Bangladesh and some of the main challenges that are faced by the elementary school education system out there and by the children out there. Just like any other area, there are two main challenges in this area. One is poverty, and the other is insecurity. And in psychology, we know that Maslow had stated that motivation is based on the 5 hierarchical needs. And the first 2 needs are not satisfied by the people, by the majority of the people who lie in the border areas. The first need being the physiological need. Poverty deprives them of basic physiological needs and is anybody saying something? Okay.
No, ma'am. Continue.
Okay. And the other need is the feeling of insecurity or the safety need. And why this feeling of insecurity, we have to really look into it. First and foremost is the uncertainty in the borders, the political conditions, the strained relationships that keep cropping up between the two countries and the disowning of the people in the border areas. Both the countries really don't want to recognize the fact that these people are people of the world, they belong to the countries. And this uncertainty amongst the people, because there has been lots of people who infiltrate into the countries, whether it is India or Bangladesh, this cross-cultural infiltration, most of which is not done legally, leads to a feeling of insecurity in the people. And this illegal migration creates in them a lack of identity. They are not sure as to what or where they belong to. And so education becomes a thing which is very not at all important for them, which they believe right now for any of us, the first priority would be to survive, to live. And I believe COVID has taught us this too, that our basic need is to survive, to live. So poverty, they have first and foremost thing that they have to do is to fight against poverty, to fight for some shelter. So going through those, sending children to school becomes a thing which is not at all important for the parents. And so to deal with the situation, what happens is they try to take up any petty jobs that they get hold of. And this is where the main crisis lies, where the children, the school going children, the adolescents at the elementary school are used and utilized to do jobs like smuggling. They are used for work, antisocial activities. So and doing these activities, they earn some money which satisfies their needs. So for them, going to school is not at all a priority, and attending, because they believe that first we have to survive. So money becomes the main, earning of money, earning of, to some extent, a secured future, maybe for a week, becomes the main priority for them, which education unfortunately does not provide them. And this people tend to exploit this poverty, and we find lots of trafficking of girls, trafficking of animals taking place, which again leads to uh, making education something which is, because the value system again is very different. So at the border areas, I believe elementary education, sending children to schools, retaining them at schools, can be achieved only when they are made to realize the fact that the education that they get from school can help them to lead a better life, to earn their livelihood, and something which is going to give them a security for the future. Besides this, uh, parents, the people who mainly come through the borders, the illegal migrants, they really don't realize the importance of education. For them, if a child would earn something for the family, would be a main issue for them. That would be a priority for them. I just shared an experience of one of my students who is a teacher in one of the schools, and he was telling me, "Ma'am, you just don't know the kind of attitude they have towards the teachers." I said, "Why? What happened?" Now, some children come to school because of the midday meal, but they come to school just for the sake of the midday meal, not to learn anything. And I said, "So what happened? What did they tell you?" So one day, I believe he's a teacher whose purse had dropped from his pocket. And the child picked it up and asked him, "Sir, apni koto maine pan?" So naturally, he was a bit shocked. So he said, "Tate tomar ki?" তখন বলছে, "স্যার কি লাভ এত পড়াশোনা করে, এইটুকু তো মাইনে পান, এর থেকে আমরা অনেক বেশি রোজগার করি জিনিস এপার ওপার করে." So if that is what their target is, why will they come to school? Why will they attend the school? Because they have realized the fact that School education is not going to help them to lead a better life in future. And this is what is exploited by the politicians, by the antisocial uh, groups who use this greed for money. In, I won't say greed, it is a basic necessity for these people, these children, and deprive them of going to school and attending elementary education. Another problem, I believe, is the curriculum is not at all life centric. The curriculum of our elementary education is very much uh, urbanized. It is more, I should say, elite. So it doesn't really touch them, nor does the methodology of teaching, because the children don't find interest. They don't find, any value of this sort of teaching learning process. So there are more dropouts, though officially we don't have dropouts because there's automatic promotion and the names are entered in their, uh, in the registers. But we know that they don't attend the schools. And the other problem is communication problem. The language that is spoken by the teachers and the language that is spoken by the local people out there, the dialect is very different. And this again creates to some extent apathy on the part of the teachers. And the motivation of the teachers is lacking to rethink about their teaching methodology and to address the need of uh, the people out there, because it is not going to be similar to the children who are studying in secured areas of the country. Their need is going to be more, uh, localized, and then we have to really think about how to bring these children to school, to retain them in school, thinking and keeping in mind that these children are not nobody's child. They are very much children of the world, and they need a secure future. Especially, uh, like the teenagers, they start imitating the people who have power, and that really creates some amount of conflict in the children, and they become dropouts because they feel, uh, recently again, in one of the webinars, I heard one person speaking where the child said that, what's the use of slogging throughout life? এত সারা জীবন ধরে পড়ে পড়ে কি হবে? So naturally, the teacher said, like, you are going to get you are going to get some respect, and if you are going to carry on with these antisocial activities, you are going to go behind the bars. So he was very cool about it, and he said, I will be behind bars for 6 months, but the rest of the 6 months I will live like the king. And if I'm behind bars, I'll be working for the people who know how to open the bars. So if this is the value system that they are going to imbibe, why will they come for the education, which is totally without any taste for their life? So I believe we have lots of challenges in the cross-border areas because their needs, the needs of the children, the needs of the parents is very different from those who are staying within the country where they are more secured, their basic needs are satisfied, and our education system really needs to rethink about how to include them and be more inclusive for these children. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, very much. Thank you.